Hi everyone, it's time to read Ivan by Katherine Applegate. I am starting on page 111 with The Promise. Oh, I like it already. My domain gleams with moonlight when I love that. That's what I said. What I loved is the word gleams. My domain gleams with moonlight when I awake to the sound of Stella's calls. Ivan, Stella says in a hoarse whisper. Ivan. Here, Stella. I sit up abruptly and Bob topples off my stomach. I run to a window. I can see Ruby next to Stella sleeping soundly. Hang on 1 minute, friends. I'm going to turn off my sound. Okay. Ivan, I want you to promise me something, Stella says. Anything, I say. I've never asked for a promise before because promises are forever, and forever is usually a long time, especially when you're in a cage. Domain, I correct. Domain, she agrees. I strengthen to my full height. I promise, Stella, I say in a voice that sounds like my father's. But you haven't heard what I'm asking you yet, she says, and she closes her eyes for a moment. Her great chest shudders. I promise anyway. Stella doesn't say anything for a long time. Never mind, she finally says. I don't know what I was thinking. The pain is making me addled. Addled means crazy, kind of, not thinking clearly. Ruby stirs. Her trunk moves as if she's reaching for something that isn't there. When I say the words, they surprise me. You want me to take care of Ruby? Stella nods. A small gesture that makes her wince. If she could have a life that's different from mine. She needs a safe place, Ivan. Not, I'm here, I say. It would be easier to promise to stop eating, to stop breathing, to stop being a gorilla. I promise, Stella, I say. I promise it on my word as a silverback. Knowing. Before Mac, before Bob, even before Ruby, I know that Stella is gone. I know it the way you know that summer is over and the winter is on its way. I just know. Stella once teased me that elephants are superior because they feel more joy and more grief than apes. Your gorilla hearts are made of ice, Ivan, she said, her eyes glittering. Ours are made of fire. Right now, I would give all the yogurt raisins in all the world for a heart made of ice. Oh, so sad. 5 men. Bob heard from a rat, a reliable sort, that they tossed Stella's body into a garbage truck. It took 5 men and a forklift. Oh, it's terrible. I told you guys it was sad. Comfort. All day I try to comfort Ruby, but what can I say? That Stella had a good and happy life? And that she lived as she was meant to live? That she died with those who loved her most nearby? At least the last was true. Crying. Julia cries all evening while her father sweeps and mops and dusts and cleans the toilets. When George sees Mac, he runs to him. I can only hear a few words. Vet, should've, wrong. Mac shrugs. His shoulders droop. He leaves without a word. When George wipes his fingerprints off my glass, his cheeks are wet. He doesn't meet my eyes. The one and only Ivan. When the humans have left and I send Bob to check on Ruby. How is she? I ask when he returns. She was shivering, Bob says. I tried to cover her with hay, and I told her not to worry because you were going to save her. I glared at him. You told her that? You promised Stella. Bob lowers his head. I wanted to make the kid feel better. I shouldn't have made that promise, Bob. I just wanted... I point to Stella's domain, and for a moment it seems like I've forgotten how to breathe. I wanted to make Stella happy, I guess, but I can't save Ruby. I can't even save myself. I flop onto my back. The cement is always cold, but tonight it hurts. Bob leaps onto my belly. You are the one and only Ivan, he says, mighty Silverback. He licks my chin, and he's not even checking for leftovers. Say it, Bob commands. I look away. Say it, Ivan. I don't answer, so Bob licks my nose until I can't stand it any longer. I'm the one and only Ivan, I mutter, and don't you ever forget it. When I gaze at the food court skylight, the moon Stella loved is shrouded in clouds. Once upon a time, all night Ruby moans and sniffles. I pace my domain. I don't want to fall asleep in case she needs something. Ivan, Bob says gently, get some sleep, please, for your sake and for mine. Bob can't sleep unless he's on my stomach. I hear stirring. Ivan? Ruby calls. I rush to the window. Ruby, are you all right? I miss Aunt Stella, Ruby sobs, and I miss my mom and my sisters and my aunts and my cousins too. I know, I say, because it's all I can think of. Ruby sniffles. I can't sleep. Do you know any of the stories the way Aunt Stella did? Not really, I admit. Stories were Stella's specialty. Tell me a story about when you were little, Ruby pleads. She puts her trunk between the bars. Please, Ivan. I scratch the back of my head. I don't remember things, Ruby, I admit. It's true, Bob says, trying to be helpful. Ivan has a terrible memory. He's the opposite of an elephant. Excuse me. Ruby lets out a long, shivery breath. Oh, well. That's okay. Night, Ivan and Bob. I listen to Ruby's soft sobs for long, horrible minutes. Then I hear myself saying, once upon a time, there was a gorilla named Ivan. And slowly and deliberately, I try to remember. The grunt. I was born in the place humans call Africa, in a dense rainforest so beautiful no crayons could ever do it justice. Gorillas don't name their newborns right away the way humans do. We get to know our babies first. We wait to see hints of what might yet be. When they saw how much she loved to chase me around the forest, my parents decided on my twin sister's name, Tag. Oh, how I loved to play tag with my sister. She was so nimble, but when she got too close, she would leap onto my but when I got too close, she would leap onto my unsuspecting father. Then I would join her and we would bounce on that tolerant belly until he gave us the grunt, the rooting pig sound that meant enough. That game never got old, although my father might have disagreed. Mud. It didn't take long for my parents to find my name. All day long, every day, I made pictures. I drew on rocks and bark and my poor mother's back. I used the sap from leaves. Molly's over here and she's having puppy dreams. I might have just woke her because I said her name. If you heard whimpering, that was her having a puppy dream. Oh, Moll. I use the sap from leaves. I use the juice from fruit, but mostly I use mud. And that is what they called me, Mud. To a human, mud might not sound like much, but to me, it was everything. My family, which humans call a troop, was just like any other gorilla family. There were 10 of us. My father, the silverback, my mother, and 3 other adult females, a juvenile male called a blackback, and 2 young gorillas. Tag and I were the babies of the group. We squabbled now and then, as families will, but my father knew how to keep us in line with a simple scowl. And for the most part, we were happy to do what we were meant to do, to feed and forage and nap and play. My father was a master at leading us to the ripest fruit for our morning feast and the finest branches for our night nests. He was everything a silverback is meant to be, a guide, a teacher, a protector, And nobody could beat a chess like my father. A perfect life. Gorilla babies and elephant babies and human babies are not so different, except that gorillas get to spend the day riding on their mother's back like a cowboy on a horse. It's a pretty great system from the baby's point of view. Slowly, carefully, a young gorilla begins to venture farther and farther away from the safety of their mother's arms. He learns the skills he will need as an adult. How to make a nest of branches. Weave them tightly or they'll fall apart in the middle of the night. How to beat your chest. Cup your palms to amplify the sound. And that's true. If you do that, which I'm sure you all will try now, if you do it flat versus cup sound, it amplifies or makes it bigger. Now I lost my spot. There we go. How to go vining from tree to tree. Don't let go. How to be kind, be strong, be loyal. Growing up gorilla is just like any other kind of growing up. You make mistakes, you play, you learn, you do it all over again. It was, for a while, a perfect life. I'm going to stop there today on page 128. Write that down. All right, the sun is starting to peek out. We should get some sun this week, I think. So you all get out there, have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah. Till next time.